This is video 4 on our collection of videos talking about professional nursing practice in Texas and our BON rules and regs guiding practice. And this time we're going to talk about your license renewal after your initial license renewal and your continuing competency. And remember the you're going to renew your license after that initial license renewal every 2 years on the last day of your birth month, odd year if you're born in an odd year, or even year if you're born in an even year. Now, you won't need to submit continuing education competency for your first renewal cycle, but after that, you're going to have to do 20 contact hours every 2 years. And so those contact hours have to be earned also during that 2-year renewal period. For example, if during this renewal period, I earn 40 CEs, but I only need 20 to renew, I can't use the extra 20 CEs during my next renewal cycle. So remember, your CEs have to be done during that renewal cycle. And of course, competency, you're doing CEs to demonstrate competency, stay up to date, continuing education. And these are your educational activities for CEs, whether they're online or in the classroom or however, you go to a meeting, any of those kind of things, then that is the piece of the continuing education. And of course, your competency, the CEs are just to ensure everybody stays up to date with practice. And there's mandatory continuing education requirements for all nurses in the state of Texas. For example, your CEs must be in your area of practice. In other words, if you work in PD, you should be doing CDs in that area, or if you work in the emergency department, you should get CEs in that area. During every third renewal cycle, you're going to need to have at least 2 hours in nursing jurisprudence and ethics. If you're a nurse that cares for elder adults or geriatric populations, you have to have at least 2 contact hours in that area for your renewal. If you work in the ED, you have to have CE and forensic evidence collection within 2 years of your hire date. If you provide direct patient care at all, you have to complete human trafficking prevention course that's approved by the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. There you go. There's a lot of acceptable CEs in nursing that you can use to renew your license, as long as you get them done within that framework. And there are some things that you can't use for your initial license renewal, and that's your CPR courses, your in-service programs on how to use the IV pump. If you don't practice for a couple of years and you have to take a nurse refresher course to go back to the bedside, then that can't count towards your CEs. Your new hire orientation programs don't count, or orientation programs to new units, or those kind of things. Self-improvement courses, economic courses, courses on your personal appearance, liberal art courses, because courses designed for lay people, like the ones that the American Heart Association does for bandage and wound care. And self-directed studies is the last one in here, and I need to give you a definition of that. Self-directed studies usually happen in graduate education programs, like if you're working on your master's, you and your faculty person would come up with a subject that you might want to study. You together come up with the content that you study, the way that you're assessed, and the outcome of all of that, self-directed type thing. This is what I want to learn, and this is how I can be assessed for my completion. And then that could count towards your transcript towards graduation, but they cannot count towards your renewal for your license. Now, some educational programs, like if you're working on your BSN, if it's nursing courses, then that can count. And this link right here takes you to this site right here that has a list of what you can do, and the rules and regs that come straight from our Board of Nursing. Here's your 20. And if you're looking for examples for your initial license, it comes here too. But here's your list of where you might find your CEs, whether it's on your own at home, on the internet, or going to a class or a meeting that has a professional development activity, those kind of things. These are some different agencies that actually approves continuing nursing education listed here. There's other things that you can do. You could have a nurse certification, like my med-surg certification. The year that I got that certification, it counted towards my 20 years of CEs 20 hours of CEs for renewal. And so there's quite a few certifications that you can get that count towards that. Here's the piece about your 20 and your area of practice that's in here. And then targeting continuing ed that we've already talked about on the list. And they have advanced practice information in here too. We don't have to worry about that. The next piece, though, that's interesting for you guys is your academic courses. If you go to work on your bachelor's degree, any of the nursing courses that you take can count towards your renewal. So, for example, let's say you're taking a 2-hour nursing theory course in a program to get your bachelor's degree. And during that renewal period, the 2 hours, like this right here says 1 academic semester hours, 15 contact hours, right? So 1 2-hour course gives you 30 CEs, and you have enough to renew for your license that time. So, if you get to go work on your bachelor's, odds are you're going to get your CEs while you're taking taking courses, nursing courses. And of course, if you're another thing that can count here for 1 CE is presentations or authorship. If you're a published author in a nursing journal. So there's your deals that are acceptable for CEs, and how you're going to find them and what doesn't count. The next thing y'all need to be aware of is the audit process. This is one reason why it's super important to keep your contact information up to date with the Board of Nursing. So the Board of Nursing will send you a random audit method to individuals 90 days before their renewal month, and say, hey, you've been selected for audit. This means that nurse has to submit proof of their continuing competency for license renewal. And so when you renew your license, you have to go to you'll have to end up going to another website where you're going to submit your proof of license renewal, and that's your proof of CEs. I'm sorry. So you log in, you upload your proof of CEs, and then you should be good to go. If you miss that, if your contact information isn't up to date and they send you that random audit and you don't have your proof of CE, remember, they won't renew you. You won't be able to practice. And they say it's a good idea for you to keep a record of your CE activities for a minimum of 2 renewal periods, just in case. So you want to keep up with those CEs and make sure that you have them available, and keep your Board of Nursing information up to date, so they know where you're at. If you're going to get audited, they can let you know. And let's see here. Let's see. I want to show you the audit link while I'm at it. There you go. So here's your information on you're being audited. So remember, keep your eyes open for that email and get your CEs done every 2 years and y'all be good to go. And that is the end of video 4.